Welcome back, guys, to another installment, to another video. I wanted to talk about Cormani McLean for a minute and about the recent news surrounding him. This is not the news about him transferring. That's old news, right? We understand that he's already hit the transfer portal. The new news, or the recent update surrounding Cormani McLean, who used to be the cornerback for Colorado Buffaloes, playing underneath Coach Prime. He has transferred. We know that. But there's some recent news. I found that out today as I was just looking through the internet, and I got a feed from a guy's YouTube channel. Meet the Great something. I forgot his name, but that's not important. That's where I got the message from initially. And the title of his video caught my attention. It said, "Things have gotten worse for Cormani McLean." Things have gotten worse for Cormani McLean. So, of course, the first thing that comes to an inquisitive mind, to anyone who thinks critically, is like, how can things have gotten worse? What can happen? So that caused me to be curious enough to watch the video. I watched the video. And, yeah, things have gotten worse for Cormani McLean in terms of what's being portrayed out there. And we also know the importance of print media and how print media can sway the perceptions of people. And if people start to believe certain perceptions, even if the perceptions are not actually true, then that perception becomes the reality, and it ends up fulfilling itself. So it becomes sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy, because everyone's thinking on the same frequency and everyone's thinking on the same accord that things have gotten worse for this kid. So that even if a university was willing to sign him, they're going to think, are we the only ones that want to sign him? Maybe things are bad for him. Negative news has a way of being infectious. It's sort of like a contagious disease, and it just spreads from one to another. And if we don't comb through the rubbish and find the core essentials within the narrative, we're always going to be fooled as people. So when I heard this information coming from this guy's YouTube page, the first thing I did, I listened to it. And as we all do as human beings, when we listen to people, we're already thinking about our own thoughts. And we're already adding our own perspectives to any perspective that's given to us. And there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something wrong with you listening to what somebody says and going off of what they just say without you doing a little bit of research. I'm not telling you to be a historian, to abandon your 9 to 5 and abandon your family and just be a full-fledged historian. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the respect that's needed from you as an individual to say, okay, I heard this information from this guy. Let me go look at the information for myself to formulate my own personal opinion. Take what I'm hearing from this guy, take what I'm hearing from a couple of other people, so I can have a well-rounded contextualized information, so then I can have that within me. So when I make my assumptions and when I come forth with my analysis, it's founded on a principle of data collecting or information mining or information collecting. It's not based upon what one person said, then I react impulsively. I have a lot to say about what that guy said on his channel, but I'm not responding to him. I'm more so responding to the source of where he got that information from. So, what I've done here, I've pulled up on my computer, Essentially Sports. And this is the article that the YouTuber was referring to when he said that things have gotten much worse for Cormani McLean. If you guys know me and know my channel, you guys understand that I'm not the type of person that wholeheartedly just puts my mind, unplugs my brain, and plugs it into the circuit of Matrix Media. Because Matrix Media has a way of controlling what we think and controlling how we behave. Because if they can control how we think, then the behavior is just an inevitable symptom of the thought process that we had initially. So, I'm not going to just say, oh, things have gotten worse for him. I'm going to comb through the article and dissect wordplay, because wordplay is very important. Words are spelled. Words are spells that are cast upon us, believe it or not. And I don't want to get too deep into a rabbit hole, but I'm not going to believe everything that I hear about Cormani McClain. Is some of it true? Yes. Is everything true about Cormani McClain? No. No. Okay. So I'm going to start off by reading the title of the article to let you know that true journalism is dead. True objectivity is dead. Because I'm going to read the article. I'm going to read the title of the article, and I'm going to break down the title. And you're going to see that within the title itself, there's no objectivity. There's already biased. There's an agenda that's being played here. Okay? Follow me here. Stay with me, okay? For the people who can stay past a short message. I know shorts are the main thing nowadays. People don't have the brain capacity to stay locked in for longer than a minute. If you speak longer than 2 minutes, people are gone. Bear with me. Indulge me for a second, okay? Now, this is what the article says. It says, schools reluctant to pursue Cormani McClain as, quote, play for clicks dig comes back to haunt him days after entering transfer portal. I'm going to read it again. There's no objectivity in that title. I'm going to tell you why. If you're probably wondering, like, what does it mean objectivity? I mean just stating facts without interjecting any words that can appeal to the emotional aspect of the human being. You're not trying to pull on the heartstrings of human beings to sway them to think a certain way. That's what I mean by painting a narrative. Words are very important. Words have a way of influencing the mind. Look, schools reluctant. That means they don't want to. They're reluctant to pursue Cormani McClain as, quote, play for clicks, close quote. That dig comes back to haunt him days after entering transfer portal. So what the title of this article is essentially saying is that Cormani's statement was a dig at Coach Prime. And a dig at the university itself in terms of its football program. I don't believe that the comment that Cormani made about playing for clicks was a dig. This title is not objective. You don't have to put the word dig. It was not a dig. It was the truth. Stay with me. I know a lot of you guys are about to call me a hater. I'm not a hater. Follow me. Wait till I'm done with the video before you make your comments, before you say whatever you want to say. Let me make my point first before you rattle off impulsively and responding with your reptilian brain, the amygdala. Let's not do that. Let's train our amygdala and use our frontal cortex and think critically. Because I'm not insulting anybody. This is just respect me as a divine being as I respect you as a divine being. And let's respect each other's perspectives here, okay? I'm not saying I'm totally right, but hear me out first. This title is not objective. This is what an objective article states. Schools reluctant to pursue Cormani McClain days after entering transfer portal. You see the difference? Schools are reluctant to pursue Cormani McClain days after entering transfer portal. What that would do to a reader is say, let me read to why they're being reluctant. Then in your writing, you can have sources, reputable sources that are trustworthy to feed into the assertion that teams are being reluctant. Like, why? The first thing that comes to mind is, why are teams being reluctant? But the journalist, whoever published this article, they don't care about being objective. They're saying that Cormani McClain was taking a shot at Coach Prime. He wasn't taking a shot at Coach Prime. He told the truth. Coach Prime does play for clicks. You say, no, I mean, he's a football coach. Okay, let me ask you this. Allowing rappers on the sidelines and actors and celebrities to parade the sidelines, that's not doing things for clicks? You are the coach of the program, Coach Prime. You have the ability to say yes or no. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Do what you want to do. You're the coach of the team. You're not doing anything illegal. You're not committing a crime. If you want to have rappers and singers and actors all on your sideline in your locker rooms, if you want to put DJs in your locker room, do whatever the hell you want as the coach of the team. I'm not the coach. You are the coach. But there's repercussions that comes with what you want to do. When you do what you want to do and do it your way, then you're going to have critique. And you should be able to actually accept the critique and embrace it. It comes with the territory. So when the player says that I don't want to play for a coach or play for a program or play for clicks, I want to play for a team that has, substance. And this is me paraphrasing here because I know Cormani didn't say those words exactly, but he did say he does not want to play for clicks. Playing for clicks is a euphemism. It's just a term that's loaded with so much things that you can insert in there. Playing for clicks means this. This is what that means. It means that the most important thing to Coach Prime is attention seeking, which is okay. That's fine. If you want to coach that way, do it. The hype, the media attention, all the cameras in the locker room, the branding aspect, as he has a publicist that follows him around 24/7, because everything that they're doing is branding. He even comes out with a documentary on I think it was on Netflix, or I think it was on Prime. No pun intended. I think it was on Amazon Prime, but one of those documentaries, it came out on one of those video movie streaming networks, Netflix or Amazon Prime. I'm not sure. He even came out with a documentary. So everything is being documented. It's for branding purposes. It's for the future. The priority of Coach Prime can be seen by any thinking person. Are we insinuating that Cormani is too ignorant to think for himself? Or is he just a dumb jock that should just shut up and dribble? Or in this case, shut up and, defend. Shut up and be a cornerback. Shut up and backpedal. And twist your hips and bend your hips and flow with the receiver down the field. Shut up. Don't have a comment. Don't have your personal take on anything. There's nothing that he said that was disrespectful in his comment that he put out on social media. There was nothing disrespectful. He just says, I don't want to play for clicks. He's entitled to his own opinion. Okay? For you to say that it's a dig when you're writing a journalistic article and you're supposed to be objective, that's not a dig, it's the truth. This is the order of priority for Coach Prime in Colorado. Despite what you guys want to believe, and I am objectively looking at it. I'm comparing programs across the country, even coaches that are considered hype or hip, who have the hype. I'm considering everything. Coach Prime's program is an entertainment business first. It's a football program second. He's trying to promote brands. He's trying to push products. He's talking about the last press conference, putting his name behind some skis. He loves Colorado. This whole thing is a big project. It's a big experiment for Coach Prime. And the world is his oyster. He can do whatever he wants. I'm not here to say what he's doing is bad or good. But when you do certain things a certain way, you have to be able to face or know that you're going to hear some things about it. You think that this is Cormani's first time playing football? He's played football before. He's played in high school. His first year in Colorado didn't go too well. I'm sure he talks to other players from other teams, other universities. He's able to make his own decision. He just says, I don't want to play for clicks. Oh, he can't think for himself. I get it. He's copying the coach. He's just repeating the same thing that the coach from Oregon said. No, he's not. He may be using the same euphemism, but it's all saying the same thing. Entertainment first, football second. Getting attention first is the priority of Prime, because that's a recruiting tool. But he's going to get attention by any means necessary. He does a lot of talking behind the mic, and it's all done to bring attention to him, not the team. Remember, Coach Prime is bigger than Colorado. Coach Prime is bigger than Colorado football. It's him then the football team. He's not, there's no symbiotic relationship with the program. It's him, then the football team. I have to get you to see me. I'm the entertainer. The way I speak at the podium, the way I dress, my hoodie, my glasses, my shades, the way I walk, the way I talk. I'm cool. I'm the face of Colorado football. I'm the face of the program. Then the football program comes second to me. When Cormani McClain says, I don't want to play for clicks, it's loaded. He probably didn't have the time to articulate his senses or to articulate his sentiments. But I can tell you this. When you say playing for clicks, it's loaded. It means that you're playing for everything but football. Now, am I saying that Cormani was a perfect player his freshman year? No, he was immature. I'm sure he did some immature things. But to say that he was all bad all the time, that's disingenuous. That's disingenuous. Because if he was bad all the time, he wouldn't leave. Obviously, he believes in his skill set. He believes that he can go somewhere else and play and be recognized for his talents. So that was not a dig. I'm already 16 minutes in. I haven't even started reading the article, but the title is what jumped out to me the most. He didn't take a dig. I'll give you an example. Maybe this may hit home. Something that we can all relate to. There's an attractive girl that everybody likes. Everybody wants to be with. There's a guy that really likes her. But he starts to observe the way she moves. She's always hanging around all these guys. She's getting attention. She sleeps around with many dudes. A couple of weeks later, a microphone is shoved in front of his face. And they ask him a question. They say, hey, why aren't you pursuing that girl? The guy says this. He says, she's too fast for me. And he leaves it at that. The term she's too fast, the word fast, that's also a euphemism because it's loaded. When Cormani says clicks, it's a loaded word. See, when the example that I'm giving, when the young man says she's too fast, that's a politically correct way of saying either she's a hoe, she's a whore, she's a slut, she's a thought. But he doesn't say that. He just says she's too fast because that's something that's permissible. That's something that it's loaded. You could fill in whatever words you want to fill in to, embody the terminology of the word fast. You could do whatever you want to do with it to make it make sense to you. When Cormani says clicks, it means a lot of things. Okay? So, should that young man be condemned for saying what he said when he says she's too fast? I'm asking you, should she be condemned? I mean, should he be condemned for saying that she's too fast? He spoke the truth. She's sleeping around with random guys. He wasn't disrespectful. He just said she's too fast. And that could mean a lot of things to a lot of people. You can interpret it the way you want to interpret it. Did he lie or did he tell the truth? He told the truth. Did Cormani lie or did he tell the truth? He told the truth. Why do you guys get offended when people say things about Coach Prime that doesn't sit well with you? As if you're him and he's you. He's not you. And I think there's some kind of weird emotional attachment with Prime with certain people that seeing things objectively or having any critique at the slightest is viewed by people as something that's a crime. He is doing things for clicks. So, you have an athlete that says, I don't want to play for clicks. You say that about the honorable Coach Prime, who won U.S. Sportsman of the Year? You don't think the media, you don't think Coach Prime has the media in his back pocket? You don't see all the excuses that was given to him for his first year of Power 5 conference football coaching? I mean, The ancillary media, like us, people on social media, we give our take. We give our objective takes. We don't care what ESPN or what Fox Sports says. But the mainstream sports networks are on the side of Coach Prime. The mainstream sports networks favor Coach Prime. He was on 60 Minutes. He won Sportsman of the Year. You have a kid coming out on social media talking about, I don't want to play for clicks. You are not only insulting Coach Prime, you're insulting the media that are behind him. So this article here is already a smear job on Cormani to insert a sort of self-fulfilling prophecy with a false narrative to have people believe that no one wants to recruit him, which will then become the reality because that's the perception of people, that no one will recruit him, that no one will take him in. Then people are going to become reluctant. So that was not a dig. By M.R. Jennifer, you are the writer of this article. That's not a dig. He didn't take a dig. He told the truth. He told the truth. Just like Coach Prime told the truth about him missing meetings and not being prepared. Yeah. Coach Prime told his truth. Cormani told his truth. Since when does telling truth affect your ability on the football field? Oh, nah, he shouldn't say anything about Coach Prime. Coach Prime is above reproach. You don't say anything about your coach. He didn't say anything about his coach. He just said, I don't want to play for clicks. He's talking about the program as a whole. If the program is a reflection of the coach, so be it. But he never once mentioned Coach Prime's name. Schools reluctant to pursue Cormani McClain as quote, play for clicks, close quote, dig comes back to haunt him days after entering the transfer portal. Again, it should read this. Schools reluctant to pursue Cormani McClain days after entering transfer portal. That's what an objective article should say. So I'm going to read the article. It says Cormani McClain, one of Coach Sanders' coveted cornerback recruits, left the Buffs program with a dramatic exit. However, McClain didn't just stop with the sudden departure. He fueled the drama by taking a jab at the former coach, stating he didn't take a jab at the former coach. He's saying why he left. Because I'm sure anybody who hits the transfer portal, the natural inquisitive mind, or there are natural inquisitive minds as a total, people who follow Colorado are going to be wondering, hey, why? When Dylan Edwards left, why? When Alton McCaskill left, why? When the defensive coordinator left, why? That's natural. Why? So Cormani McClain wanted to answer. He wanted to give an answer to his fans or give an answer to his followers. To say, hey, look, this is why I left. He spoke his truth. He spoke his piece. Should he not speak? Oh, he should just be quiet and keep it concealed, right? No, he's a young man. He's considered an adult. I think he has the right to speak. Young people, the youth, they have a voice. Let's give it to them. Just because they're students doesn't mean that they're less than and they need to just be quiet and play. That's not what we're going to do here. So again, this article is not objective because it's already putting you in a position of being the viewer to have the perspective that this young athlete is disrespectful because he's taking jabs at his coach. Because naturally speaking, the coach is the elder, the student or the athlete is the one that's subordinate, and there's a degree of respect that's warranted from the youth to the adult. Back and forth, of course. Adults have to respect students too. But primarily speaking, when we talk about the dynamic of human relationships in terms of age gaps, we understand that the older and the younger, there's a dichotomy that's there. The younger is usually primed, no pun intended, with the task of being respectful to their elders. So this article here, by saying that he took a jab at his coach, is already painting Cormani McClain as being a student athlete that's disrespectful. Nothing could be further from the truth. He's just speaking his mind without being disrespectful. Since when does speaking your truth or giving your followers a reason why you left, since when has that become something that's frowned upon? Now, some of you guys may say, no, he should have waited. He shouldn't have went to social media. Do whatever the hell he wants. Any coach that sees his talent will see the talent and discard the rest. This is just fodder to distract the masses, to paint this Cormani McClain as some kind of villain or antagonist or immature, disrespectful student athlete. That's what's being done. And Coach Prime has the power of the media in his corner, in his back pocket. Remember, he used to be part of media. You don't insult. Coach Prime doesn't need to insult him back. He has his minions to do that for him, the media. This is a smear campaign for Cormani McClain. And it's not warranted. Now, if his college career is ruined because of this, it's not because he couldn't play. He can play. Did he have a rough first year? Of course he did. But that's why he wants to be developed. He wants to be great. He wants to be better. He understands that he has potential. He wasn't a 5-star athlete out of high school because he just couldn't play. Obviously, he has some sort of skill. He has the physique. He has the attributes. He has everything that he needs. This is a smear campaign. So it says here, he fueled the drama by taking a jab at his former coach, stating, "I just don't want to play for clicks." Yeah, I just don't want to play for recognition and play for his clicks. I just don't want to play for clicks. Coach Prime's clicks. His click, his attention, his brand. I don't want to play for Coach Prime's brand. I'm not here to fuel his agenda. I'm not here to fuel his branding because he's bigger than Colorado football right now. It's him and then the football program. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to stick something between there. It's Coach Prime first, then his kids get into the NFL, Shallow, Shador, and his adopted son, Travis Hunter, and then the program. In that order. Prime first, his kids get into the next level, and the football program. Whatever happens with the wins and loss records, it doesn't matter. I got to make sure my son gets to the next level. I'm going to promote my son to the best of my ability and market him as one of the best quarterbacks in college football. He's always doing that on the microphone. So Cormani doesn't want to be a part of that. Is he wrong for saying that? No. His comments, the article goes on to say, his comments, meaning Cormani McClain's comments, implied dissatisfaction with the program and a desire for a team that prioritizes him more. No, he doesn't want to be prioritized more. He just wants to be part of a program that's about football. See, let's not make this about him. See, this is what I call a reversal narrative. It's a reversal narrative because it's really all about Coach Prime. But the article is being written and painting the picture and painting the false narrative that this student athlete, Cormani McClain, he wants it to be all about him. Prioritize me. No. Football is more than one person. This is not tennis or track or golf. He's played football. He understands there are many dimensions to a team. So you guys are insulting Cormani McClain's intelligence here. Like, he's not implying that. You're implying that. The article is implying that. This is a biased article to the highest order. His comments implied dissatisfaction with the program. True. And a desire for a team that prioritizes him more. No. He just wants to be developed. He just wants to be developed. Or cornerbacks. If he goes to a team, he's not going to be the only cornerback. He just wants to go to a team that they're all about football. And because he's all about football. Reading along here. Initially, McClain's criticism had a blowing effect on Coach Prime's reputation. No, it didn't. Coach Prime's reputation was always in the balance. Like, either you hate him. No, I wouldn't say the word hate. Either you dislike the way he runs the team, or you love it. Me, I'm more so on the side of dislike. It's entertaining. It's more entertaining. It's not rooted in the prosaic norms of what we deem football to actually be. It's nuanced in a way that I don't think people are comfortable with. And I guess he's trying to move the meter because everybody predicates whatever he does as successful due to the revenue that he brought to the university. So I guess if it all makes money, it all makes sense. But to me, not everything that makes money makes sense to me. Makes sense to me. If it makes sense, doesn't necessarily mean it makes sense. So that's where I stand with Coach Prime. But he says here initially McClain's criticism had a blowing effect on Coach Prime's reputation. No, it didn't. Who cares about what Cormani McClain thinks? Many people believed what Coach Prime said about him anyway. Even when Uncle Neely got on DNVR talking about they would give Cormani tasks to complete in order to start, and he wouldn't check any of the boxes. So if they gave him 4 things to do in order for him to start, he wouldn't do any of them. I mean, you don't think that has a negative effect on him? So there's nothing Cormani can say to ruin or impact Coach Prime's reputation. There's nothing. Either people love him or people don't like him. Whatever Cormani said on his little video didn't do much to anything. This is just a loaded article that's filled with a lot of assumptions. Nothing truthful at all. I'm going to continue reading. It says, however, the situation seems to have backfired for the young athlete now. So they're saying his comment backfired. McClain's actions, including his sudden departure and critical comments, are viewed as immature by potential schools, making them hesitant to pursue him. Okay, name the schools. Name the schools. What schools? What are your sources? I don't believe this article. It says here, his actions in comments are viewed as immature by potential schools. Okay. A handful of potential. Doesn't mean all the schools. Have we exhaustively interviewed every school to see what they think about Cormani McClain? Until you've done that, and shut the hell up. You can't make a statement like that by potential schools. What are the potential schools? What are the potential schools? Or are schools afraid to take on a student athlete that that so-called took a dig at the United States Sportsman of the Year, Coach, aka Prime, Deion Sanders? Are other coaches afraid to take on a player that allegedly went at Coach Prime or took a dig at Coach Prime? Will that mean that coach who took Cormani in is against Coach Prime? Are coaches afraid of taking that backlash? You see how when you have power, it impacts the decisions of others? Because there are too many people out there that don't have they lack conviction. They move with the wind. They lack foundational principles. They don't want to stick their foot in the ground and say, this is it. This is what I stand on. They don't want to do that. What they will do is this. Well, he says this about Coach Prime. If I recruit him, they're going to think that I agree with that. Let me wait and see. It's a waiting game. There are going to be teams out there to take him. This article is a bit premature, if you ask me. So the comments that he made are viewed as immature by potential schools, making them hesitant to pursue him. Reading along in the article, it says, despite being a highly ranked transfer prospect, Cormani McClain's history of controversies started in high school. Oh, now they're going to go back to high school. Now you see how they're doing their investigations now? Let me ask you something. This is for critical thinkers, and that's why I'm glad I'm reading this article for myself, so I can look deeper between the weeds to find out the essential components of this narrative that's trying to be painted. Whatever high school Cormani went to, if he was recruited by Coach Prime and he decided to go play for Colorado, you don't think that the coaches there have a liking to Coach Prime as well? So whose side do you think that those coaches are going to be on? Are they going to be on Cormani's side? Or are they going to be on Coach Prime's side? They're going to be on Coach Prime's side. Are they going to say things that are favorable about Cormani? Because they're not. This article is now taking a retroactive glance at his history. They haven't been keeping up with his history in high school. Is that when they found out that he's controversial or that he's leaving or he transferred, now let's run back to his high school and find out some things that we can find out about him to validate our agenda of trying to paint this young student athlete as some athlete that's disrespectful and immature and hard to work with. These are the seeds of how they plant information in the minds of people to have a false perspective or a false perception of an athlete. And this kind of thing will follow him for the rest of his damn life. They're going to say how he was controversial in high school. If he makes it to the NFL, they're going to bring this back up and talk about his immaturity. You see how this works? And it doesn't have to be true. Whoever has the power of the media, whoever has the power of the pen, can do whatever the hell they want. And people who are afraid to say the right things because they have affiliations, they have their own cliques that they submit to, that they fall under, they're going to more so have allegiance to a person more than they have allegiance to a moral code. Meaning that it's not about right or wrong. It's about who I favor, and I'm not going to speak out against somebody I favor. So despite being highly ranked, transfer prospect Cormani McClain's history of controversies, starting in high school, raises concerns about his maturity. Matt Zenitz, and reporter for 24 Sports, expressed doubts about McClain's future, stating, even with the talent that Cormani has, it's led a lot of teams I've talked to being reluctant to pursue him. So Matt Zenitz, a reporter for 24/7 Sports, expressed doubts about McClain's future, stating, even with the talent that Cormani has, it has led teams I've talked to. What are the teams that you've talked to? How many teams have you talked to? Maybe the article will tell me. I'm going to keep reading. Zenitz, the reporter for 24/7 Sports, elaborated on the transfer portal issue, saying, it's led to a point where a lot of teams are planning on not pursuing him. Oh, okay. Quote, I really have no idea where Cormani is going to end up, he added. While Zenitz sees trouble ahead for the talented cornerback, Cormani acts like it doesn't bother him. It doesn't bother Cormani because he knows it's not freaking true. Any team can have their opinion. Who are the teams? Just because a handful of teams are reluctant doesn't mean that everybody else is reluctant. So you can't use a small sample size to cast a narrative upon an athlete. That's called painting a picture, folks. That's called inaccurate and biased journalism. Many of you guys will read stuff like this and take it as the gospel truth because you don't read between the lines. You can't read between the lines because you're emotionally clogged for your love of Coach Prime. That there's nothing wrong that he can do. And there's no one how dare anyone speak out against what he's trying to do there. It's not about speaking out against what he's trying to do. It's about a young man given the ability to have a voice and not cast him as some disrespectful, immature, whatever you want to call him, student, athlete. Yeah, Cormani acts like it doesn't bother him because it doesn't. Cormani McClain's recent controversy, again, what controversy? You see this? Controversy. He took a dig. Shots were fired. You see how we revel in the idea of chaos and conflict? Like, we are demented. We are, psychologically as a people, something's wrong with us. We thrive off nonsense like this. Oh, it's controversial. He took a dig. He took a shot. He took a shot at Coach Brown. What's Coach Brown? We love to see conflict. And we wonder why there's no peace in the world today. We live off that. We've been trained by our masters very well to love it. Anyway, reading along here. Cormani McClain's recent controversy isn't the only red flag for college programs. He skipped his high school sign-in ceremony and reportedly backed out of verbal commitments with several other schools before choosing Colorado Buffaloes. So many athletes do that. What, are they serious? Cormani McClain's recent controversy. Wow. He skipped his high school sign-in ceremony and reportedly backed out of verbal commitments. Wow. They're reaching here. We have many athletes that make verbal commitments that don't sign verbally until they sign physically on paper, until they make it legit with a signature. What the hell? He skipped his high school sign-in ceremony and reportedly backed out of verbal commitments with several other schools before choosing the Colorado Buffaloes. Well, Colorado Buffaloes didn't have a problem with that. If what he did was so bad, then Colorado Buffalo should not have taken him. But they didn't have a problem with taking the talent of Cormani McClain. He can choose whatever the hell. He can go to wherever school he wants to. He can make a verbal commitment to 50 schools and only choose one. So what? Wow. Reading along here, it says McClain was drawn to Deion Sanders' legendary cornerback skills. So obviously he has sense. We didn't condemn him. Follow me here. Cormani wasn't condemned then for making the decision to play for Coach Prime. Cormani had the sense to say, I want to play for a legendary cornerback because that's the position I play. I play the cornerback position. I want to play for a player who played at the highest level, who won at the highest level, who's a legend at the highest level, who plays my position because I want to learn from the best. So obviously Cormani has some sense. So all of a sudden he doesn't have any sense to leave Coach Prime to go somewhere because he wants to be developed. All of a sudden he doesn't want to play for a coach that's all about playing for clicks. He wants to play for a team that's going to develop him. Or all of a sudden now he doesn't have common sense when he leaves Coach Prime, but he has common sense when he joins Coach Prime. You see the bias there? And most of you guys are like that. As long as the talented players come play for Coach Prime, they're good. Immediately they have an opinion of their own and have come to a point to make their own judgments and come up with their own analysis to say, hey, I'm going to leave because I don't like what I see here. Oh, there's something wrong with that player because he wants to leave Coach Prime. Let's go dig up his past and find out certain things about him that are bad. There's nothing wrong with making verbal commitments with several schools before choosing a school. Players do that all the time. Even Coach Prime made a joke about that. He says some of these guys aren't faithful to their girlfriends. Why do I think guys are going to be faithful with commitments, with verbal commitments? Guys say things all the time. Until it happens, it happens. That's the nature of recruiting, guys. Wow. The fact that this article wrote that as a dig, since you guys want to talk about digging, this article is taking a dig at Cormani. Cormani did not take a dig at Coach Prime. You see the reversal narrative being played here is what crazy people do. The crazy people will make you look crazy and make themselves look sane so everybody can view you as the one that's crazy. The only selfish person here is Coach Prime. The only person taking digs is this article taking digs at Cormani. Cormani didn't take a dig at Coach Prime. He just spoke the truth. It's about clicks. I just told you it's about, and you know it is. It's about Coach Prime first. And if you're okay with him doing it, that's okay. It's not a right or wrong thing, but it's about him. He's bigger than the Colorado program. Then it's about the transferring of his sons to the highest level of football, the NFL. Then the wins and losses is ancillary. It's third. It's tertiary. Reading along the article, it says, McClain was drawn to Deion Sanders' legendary cornerback skills. So he was drawn to him with that. So he has sense to be drawn to a legend. However, reading along the article, it says, however, McClain's respect for Coach Prime didn't last. How do we know? What happened? Reading along, it says he, meaning Cormani, reportedly missed several classes and practices. Okay. Several classes. Were there other players that missed classes too? Was he the only one that missed classes? I don't give a damn the expectations you have for an athlete that's a 5-star athlete. He's still a young kid. He still needs to be developed. You can't assume just because everyone is not a Travis Hunter. The athletic skills are there, but the athletic skills in and of itself is not a seamless transition into behavior and making smart decisions. Is it a smart decision to skip class and skip practice? No, it's not. Did they expect him, just because he's a 5-star, that he would be a model citizen? Is that what they expected? That's part of developing, folks. I'm not giving Cormani an excuse. That was wrong. You don't miss class. You don't miss practice. You don't. But should that act be held above him for the rest of his college career? Should it? Hasn't Coach Prime made mistakes in his life? Do we hold that above his head for his whole career? When Coach Prime was when he dressed drag on stage, singing a song, acting like a female, do we hold that up on his head till today? We compartmentalize those things. We understand that's what he did in the past. We don't hold that above his head as a coach. Yes, he missed practice. Yes, he what it said here, he missed practice and he was So, he missed several classes and practices. Missed it totally, or was he late? I don't know how true that is. If he missing classes, I could see. Missing entire practices, I don't think he will be on the team. The Coach Prime that I know, based upon what the media has shown us, he's a no nonsense guy. He's still an old school coach. He's an old school coach, but he's a player's coach with an old school mentality. It's one thing to be late to practice. You missed the entirety of the practice. I don't even think the guy will be on the team. But you know what? I'll take this article's words for it and say, okay, he missed practices. And it says practices, plural, more than one. I don't see how the guy was still on the damn team, if you ask me. Anyway, let me keep reading. It says reportedly, so we don't even know if it's true or not. And even on Cormani McClain's video, he says, the narrative that's being painted about me, I don't want that to be it. That's not me. That's not me. Anything could be spun, folks. You could take something that somebody does that's a level 2 and make it a level 10. Vice versa. If you favor somebody, you can make something that they do that's catastrophic and put it down. Depending on the choice of words that you use, the way the story is told, and how quickly we sweep things underneath the rug. But in this case, we're fixated on pulling things out that Corey McClain did, to keep talking about that, to the point that we're going back to his recruiting days in high school. This article is ridiculous. Reading along here, it says, however, McClain went further, tarnishing Coach Sanders' reputation with his critical, click-based comment. Some even speculate jealousy might be at play, perhaps due to the rising fame of Shedeur Sanders, Shiloh Sanders, and Travis Hunter on Deion's team. No. I'm going to highlight that right here so I don't miss it. Some even speculate jealousy. No, it's not speculation. It's jealousy. No, it's no speculation there. Yeah, not Travis Hunter, but Cormani McClain is jealous. A lot of other players are jealous too. The players that left there, they're jealous. Yeah, they're jealous. Is there something wrong with them being jealous? No. They're jealous because the way the team is ran. It's all about his sons. It's daddy ball. I keep trying to tell you guys that. It's me, my brand, my name, my kids first, and then y'all second. There's no team chemistry. Organically, you could play like that in front of the camera. You could act like you're cool with the guys on the team, but when things actually play out in a practical sense, when you start to see, okay, these guys have a lot of money. Where's my dough at? Where's my money at? Everything's about them. Yes, some animus is built in. It's human nature. I'm not blaming Coach Prime for it, but it could be simmered a little bit. It could be diluted to a certain degree. It's overkill. Guys in college driving around with a Bentley SUV. I mean, the millions of dollars that they have, Travis Hunter, Shiloh, and Shedeur, it creates an environment of haves and have-nots on the team. And how can you quell that? How can you squash that? It's hard to squash that, especially when the coach of the team is their father. So yeah, speculations of jealousy. No, I'm gonna go further. I'm being objective. I believe Cormani had jealousy in him. I believe Dylan Edwards has some jealousy in him. I believe Alton McCaskill has some. I believe that the majority of the guys on the team have some jealousy in their hearts because they see what's going on. They want some of that money too. So some players are willing to just leave because seeing that in your face, thrown in your face every day is too much. And then if your team's not actually dominating and winning, why stay here to watch this unfold? I'm going to go somewhere else. Even though I may not make as much somewhere else, but let me just go to a new environment where it's all about football, where there's not one player on the team that's already living like they are already a celebrity. And then their dad is the coach. It's just too much. It's overkill at the top. You know when people talk about something being top heavy, it's top heavy in terms of the family dynamic of Colorado football with the Sanders. Shiloh, Shedeur, Travis, his little pet project, the one that he took from high school and converted him into a two-way player. It's all about Coach Prime's branding. The first to ever do this, the first to ever do that. Then the sons make all. So everyone else is just like, we're just here to watch the show too. Okay, I don't want to watch the show. I want to be a part of it. And I think that the type of attention that Shiloh Sanders and all the, Travis Hunter and are getting, the fame that they're receiving, not just the fame, this is recognition, is almost as if you're on a team with celebrities and everybody else is just, yeah. That's what's happening. Regardless, reading along in the article, it said, regardless, McClain's behavior after leaving Colorado raises concerns among college programs. What college programs? They fear he may repeat his immature actions with the new team. College football already has its share of drama, and it seems McClain might not be mature enough to handle it. However, things can change over time, so McClain may find a program to help him mature on and off the field. So this is a smear article to make him seem like he's immature. But he wasn't immature when he came to Prime, though. When he saw that Prime was a legend, and he decided to give verbal commitments to all those other schools, but turned them down to choose Coach Prime in Colorado. He wasn't immature when he did that, though, right? But all of a sudden now he's immature. Get the hell out of here, man. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. Hey, Cormani, listen to me, man. I don't know if you will ever hear this. If some of these things that they said about you are true, then shame on you. You should do better. Okay? You shouldn't be skipping practice. You shouldn't be freaking skipping classes. All right? I understand going to class sometimes you're tired, but damn, it says here several. If it's true, you're wrong for that. And I'll be an idiot to defend you, but I'm not going to defend that. That's stupidity. You don't give people ammunition to go against you. You don't give people the ammunition to shoot you. You don't give people the bullets to kill you. You're giving people bullets by skipping practice. So no longer is it about your talent. It's about you skipping practice. It's about you being immature. I hope that's not true, Cormani. All right? When you get to a new program, you have a lot of work to do. You have to repair your name because your name has been marred to a certain degree. But you're still young. You still have the ability to bounce back. No program is going to make you mature. You have to be mature before you go to the program. The program is not your mommy. The program is not your daddy. You have to be a made man to join a program to be amongst other young made men. Don't go there immature expecting them to do everything for you. Yeah, a program could develop you physically, your skill set, put you in the right situations to thrive and to prosper, to use your talents, to accentuate your talents, and to diminish your weaknesses and accentuate the strengths, the strong points of your football game. We understand that part. The football program can do that, but in terms of your character, the football program is not going to do that for you, Cormani. So be better and do better. Learn from your mistakes. The things that you've done your first year underneath Coach Prime, don't do that again. Don't prove this smear article to be true because people are watching you. All eyes are on you now. You hear me? I'm dead serious. All eyes are on you. What you do moving forward is going to be critiqued. Every little thing you do. So when you go to your new program, you have to be the model citizen. I would go as far as to say you have to now put yourself in a position of being a leader. Lead by your actions. Be the first to meetings. Be the first to class. Strive for perfection. Because your back's against the wall now. You can't play the, I'm just a freshman card. I'm new to college football. You're going into your second year. It's time to grow up. When you have enough balls to make a video to say that you don't want to play for clicks, then I believe you I'm going to hold you to that. That you don't want to play for clicks, that you want to play football, that you're a football kind of guy, that you're all about the football, nothing else. Okay? The stuff about you making verbal commitments, I don't hold that against you. That's hogwash. They're just trying to paint a bad picture of you. But what I will drill you at is a skipping of practice. You can't do that. You can't do that. I don't give a damn what the reason is. I don't want you to give any other program ammunition, all right, to confirm the things that are being said about you that you did in Colorado. Let's not have that. Let's change that. And the power is in your hand, not the program's hand. Whatever university takes you, it's not their responsibility to change the narrative. It's your responsibility to change that narrative. And it's not even about proving people wrong. Prove it to yourself first and let the chips fall where they may. People are going to write stories. But I tell you what, Cormani, 24/7 Sports, they're not going to be quick to write a good article about you because it's going to make this article BS. It's going to make this article trash. It'll cause people to view them as being hypocritical. It condemns them for being contradictory. So do what you need to do, all right, young man? Work hard, keep training, and a team's going to pick you up. This article is not speaking for all universities. A team's going to pick you up. Keep your head up, all right, Cormani? All right, take care. You guys, leave a comment. Tell me what you guys think. All right, bye.